They said the alien was useless. They said he was broken. They said he was already dead. But one human soldier refused to accept it. This is the story of a warrior left behind, and the human who proved that mercy is not weakness. The infirmary was quiet. Too quiet. The only sound was the soft hum of the life support systems and their occasional distant explosion. Red emergency lights flickered, casting sharp shadows across the metal floor. In the center of the room, a massive alien warrior lay on a medical platform. His body twisted and broken, armor cracked, blood staining the edges, and a thick cable attached to his spine like a lifeline. His species, the Karzuun, were known for their strength and brutality. They conquered planets without mercy. They never hesitated. They never cared. So when this warrior fell, his own people did what they always did. They left him. The medical team had already declared him a loss. The command officers had already moved on. No one came near him. No one even looked at him. They didn't have to. He was useless. That was the word that echoed in the room like a curse. But then the door opened. A human soldier stepped in. He was alone. He wore a scratched and outdated suit. His face was tired. His eyes were determined. He walked straight to the platform and looked down at the alien. The alien's eyes opened slowly. They were not full of hatred, not full of fear. They were full of something else. Shock. Because no one had ever looked at him like that. Are you alive? The human asked. The alien didn't answer. He couldn't. But he understood the question. The human knelt. The alien's breathing was shallow, but it was there. The human pulled out a medical kit. The alien's eyes widened. The human began working. He cleaned the wounds, applied medgel, and adjusted the life support cable. The alien felt the pain. It was unbearable. But the human kept going. The alien species would have called it weakness. The human called it duty. A group of alien officers entered the room. They stopped when they saw the human kneeling beside the injured warrior. One of them snarled. "You cannot save him," the officer said. "He is not one of us." "He is alive," the human replied. The officer laughed, cold and cruel. "Alive is not enough. He will never fight again." The human stood. "He deserves a chance," he said. The officers exchanged glances. One of them stepped forward. "You are wasting resources." The human looked directly into the alien's eyes and said, "Then I will waste them." The officers left. They didn't stop him because they were kind. They stopped him because they were curious. They wanted to see how far a human would go. And the human kept going. 4 days, he stayed. He treated the alien's wounds. He spoke to him. He told stories about Earth, about rain, about the first time he saw the ocean. The alien listened. He couldn't speak, but he could feel the human's voice. He could feel something he had never felt before. Hope. The enemy attacked. The base shook. Alarms screamed. The lights flickered. Smoke filled the corridors. Evacuation orders were issued. The command team left. The medical staff left. Everyone left. Everyone except the human. The human stood in front of the platform and refused to move. An officer appeared in the doorway. "Leave now," he said. "We will not wait for a dead warrior." The human looked at the alien and then said, "I will not leave him." The officer shook his head. "You are human. You are weak." The human smiled. "Maybe," he said, "but I am not useless." The enemy forces entered the infirmary. The human fired. He was outnumbered. He was outgunned. But he was determined. The alien watched. Then, with a roar of pain, he moved. His arm reached for the mounted cannon beside the platform. His fingers closed around it. The recoil tore through his body. His armor cracked further. His bones screamed. But he fired. Enemy soldiers fell. The human fired again. The room became a storm of plasma and smoke. They fought together. Not as allies. Not as friends. But as survivors. And when the last enemy fell, both of them were still alive. The base was destroyed. The outpost was in ruins. But they survived. The human was injured. His armor was torn. His face was bruised. His hand shook. The alien was worse. He could not move. He could barely breathe. But he was alive. Reinforcements arrived. Not from the human side. From the alien side. The officers who had abandoned him returned. They expected to find a corpse. Instead, they found a warrior still alive. A warrior who had fought. A warrior who had defended the base. The officers were stunned. They looked at the human with disgust. How? One of them asked. The human looked at the alien warrior and said, because he deserved it. The officers left again. But the story had already spread. The footage of the battle had been recorded. The images were sent to the command center. Across the galaxy, the story spread. Humans were being watched. Not as weak creatures. As something else. Something dangerous. Because humans were not just fighters. Humans were survivors. Humans were willing to die for what they believed in. The alien council summoned the human soldier. He was brought into a chamber filled with towering alien leaders. They watched him like a specimen. They demanded answers. Why did you save him? They asked. He was left to die, the human replied. That is the law, another alien said. The human looked at them and said, then your law is wrong. The council fell silent. The alien warrior was brought in. He was carried on a gravbed, his body broken, but his eyes still burning. The council looked at him. They saw what the human saw. A warrior. A being with dignity. The council leader spoke. You have changed the meaning of strength, he said. The human answered, strength is not about killing. Strength is about standing when everyone else walks away. The council was stunned. They had never heard a sentence like that. The alien warrior became a symbol. Not of weakness. Of humanity. He was given a new role, not as a soldier, but as an ambassador. He was sent to Earth. To speak with humans. To tell them the truth. The truth was simple. Humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous. Because they cared. And in the cold dark of space, that kind of strength was terrifying. The human soldier returned to his unit. He was not praised. He was not rewarded. He was simply told to keep moving. But the story had already changed the galaxy. And somewhere, in the shadows of a distant world, the alien council watched humanity differently. Because now they knew the truth. When humans are cornered, they don't break. They fight back. And they protect what matters.